Most people are not mysterious. They are performing. And when you regard their performance as a puzzle, you give them the steering wheel. Consider the last time someone made you doubt your ability to read. In a meeting, they grinned while making a subtle jab at your competence, then pretended to be innocent when your expression changed. In a relationship, they twisted one line till you seemed nasty, then gently inquired, "Why are you getting defensive?" In a friend group, they gave you the look that suggests you're not really included, and when you finally asked what was wrong, they answered, "Nothing," which was just enough poison to keep you awake later. You walked away repeating every second, wondering whether you had misheard it, and practicing the right comeback that night. This is what most people miss. This mistake is frequently induced. When someone cannot dominate you overtly, they do so privately, within your thoughts. They generate fog and then watch you stumble through it. When you seek clarity, they win twice. You react first and then doubt yourself later. Machiavelli's edge was not mental games. It was clear. Power exists in the frame, and whoever causes you to react is silently putting you inside theirs. So stop attempting to read thoughts. Read the incentives. Consider what they are protecting: reputation, comfort, authority, and ego. Consider what they seek: attention, leverage, compliance, and admiration. And observe what breaks the mask: a small no, a delayed response, or a calm silence that refuses to save the conversation. In the coming minutes, I'll show you a system you can apply right away. 5 tells and 3 tests that reveal purpose and status intent quickly. Once you see it, you'll start reading those who don't have a single argument. Machiavelli would chuckle at current people's attempts to understand one another. They listen to explanations, look for sincerity, and view every argument as a misunderstanding that can be resolved with the proper paragraph. However, power does not flow across paragraphs. It moves based on incentives. Here's the first lens. Individuals relocate when something gets more affordable, safer, or profitable for them. It's not always about money. Sometimes the profit is emotional. Attention, relief, revenge, control. If you want to read someone, stop asking what they meant and instead ask what they gained. What exactly do they buy when they compliment you? What are they attempting to accomplish when they criticize you? When they just want to talk, what outcome are they aiming for? Second lens. Perception outperforms truth in terms of social power. Polite society says it doesn't exist, yet you've seen it in every room. The person with the highest accuracy is not rewarded in the room. It rewards the person who appears confident, someone who speaks as if they belong, the guy who does not rush for permission. Tone, timing, and status all have the potential to obscure truth. Someone can make you appear unstable, even if you are not. Third lens. Most of the time, everyone is pursuing one of 3 goals: status, safety, control. They rarely admit it outright because it sounds unpleasant, so they disguise it. The status becomes, "I'm just being honest." Safety becomes, "I'm only worried about you." Control is transformed into, "I'm trying to help." This is where you will need 2 notions to lead everything else: the mask and the lever. The mask is exactly what they claim to be. The lever is what makes them move. Most people struggle to read others because they put their own inner reality onto everyone else. If you are loyal, you will presume loyalty. If you are direct, others will assume you are also direct. If you feel guilty easily, you may presume that others do as well. That projection is soothing, yet it blinds you. It causes you to see manipulation as perplexity and dominance as personality. You also presuppose fairness. You believe that if you explain, the other person will change their opinion. You assume the conversation is about facts, but it is usually about hierarchy. The accusation is a test. Will you seek approbation, or will you maintain your frame? And then there's the worst trap: being fascinated by language. Words are inexpensive. Words are costumes. Anyone can say, "I respect you," while enforcing their boundaries. Anyone can say, "I'm calm," and provoke you until you snap. Anyone can say, "I'm doing this for your own good," while defending their own ego. Patterns cost extra. Patterns require consistency. This is why patterns are true in human behavior. That is why onlookers triumph, while reactors bleed quietly. Now consider the courtroom illusion that underpins most social interactions. Someone implies that you are wrong. You rush to clarify. They question your motivations. You defend your character. The more you defend, the more you acknowledge their right to judge you. You become the defendant in a trial that you never agreed to attend. Machiavelli would say, "Do not volunteer for that role." Observing is not the same as being passive. Observation equals sovereignty. When you watch rather than beg, you maintain your frame. So, here's your rule of power. Never judge individuals based on their statements. Read them based on their reactions. The lever emerges throughout the reaction process. A confident individual reacts with curiosity. A domineering person responds with pressure. A status-obsessed individual responds with subtle humiliation. A person who is addicted to safety will avoid or deny the situation. Change one small variable, such as a delay, boundary, or silence, and their response will reveal what they truly serve. Now we'll get to the tells. Not vibrations, not intuition disguised as wisdom. Tells are recurring patterns that disclose motive, similar to how footprints reveal direction. You are not here to categorize individuals for fun. You're here to quit devoting your time to games you never agreed to play. Most manipulation is not dramatic. It is quiet. It has a typical face. It comes across as concern, honesty, just joking, and "I'm only trying to help." So read like Machiavelli. Ignore talks and focus on reactions, because reactions are precious and words are cheap. Incentives leak into behavior. Your task is to detect the leak before you pay for it. The first indicator is the control reflex. Examine the initial seconds following friction. When things don't go their way, do they become curious or controlling? A stable individual can handle disappointment without making it a trial. A domineering individual rushes to grasp the wheel. They have power over the story, the setting, or you. They interrupt to reset the topic. They demand an immediate response. They pose loaded queries such as, "So you're saying I'm the problem?" They use absolute statements. "You always do this." You never listen. In a meeting, you say, "I can deliver on Friday." They respond, "So you're refusing to support the team?" The idea is to compel you to defend. And when you make a calm point, they punish it with tone. They say, "Relax," as the situation escalates. Underneath, this shows a fragile ego and a desire to be the authority, as uncertainty feels humiliating to them. The second indicator is the status switch. This one is simple since it is difficult to imitate consistently. Consider how they treat those who cannot repay them. Not the boss, not the gorgeous stranger, not the guy who possesses leverage. Keep an eye on the junior in the room, the waiter and the outsider with no social value. Status-obsessed people transform into two distinct individuals depending on the audience. With influence over them, they are warm, charming, generous, and almost cautious. With authority beneath them, they become irritable, condescending, or casually harsh. They serve by snapping their fingers. They forget the names. They talk over the quiet guy. Then, 5 minutes later, they smile cheerfully at the manager as if nothing occurred. This indicates entitlement and hierarchy fixation, as well as the fact that their generosity is a costume they wear only when it benefits them. The boundary reaction is the third and cleanest tell. You do not need a spectacular confrontation. A modest no is sufficient. "I can't make it tonight. I'm not comfortable with that. No, thank you." Then observe their reaction as if it were a lab result. A respectable person may be disappointed, but they remain grounded in reality. "All good, maybe another time." They may ask one clarifying question, then accept the response. A coercive individual treats your refusal as a negotiation. Come on, don't be like that. If you keep it, they will demand reasons, which are grips they may grab. If the pressure fails, they resort to guilt. After everything I've done, if guilt fails, they resort to punishment, frigid silence, sarcasm, retreat, and an unexpected story about how you changed. Sometimes they term it communication, but what they really want is compliance. This tells whether they value you or seek to possess you. When your boundary becomes a threat, they reveal their true motivation. The fourth indicator is accountability evasion. Everyone makes mistakes. The question is, what do people do when their self-image is threatened? When you bring out something obvious, do they own it or do they alter reality? The evasive individual rarely admits, "I was wrong." They say, "That's not what I meant." They hardly say, "I forgot." They respond, "You never reminded me." They hardly say, "I hurt you." They remark, "You're too sensitive." If they apologize, it's a slippery slope. "I'm sorry you feel that way." No ownership, just smoking. Watch out for the history editor who rewrites the past to preserve the present. That never happened. You're imagining things. They pull you into side debates over terminology, timing, tone, and anything other than the central issue. This indicates self-image addiction and covert hostility, as the goal is not resolution. The idea is to avoid accountability without sacrificing prestige. The fifth tell is called the emotional tax. People dismiss this as subjective, although it is one of the most dependable indications of covert dominance. What is your current state after interacting with them? Calm and lucid, or curiously guilty, rushed and tense in the chest? Some folks make you feel anchored. Others make you feel as if you owe them something, even if you don't know what. That's the tax. They capture your attention with urgency. Answer me now. They use your energy out of helplessness. No one understands me. They take your conscience under moral pressure. If you were a good person, you would. Then you see yourself regulating their mood, expressing your aims, and mentally preparing for the next conversation. You respond faster than you want to, not out of love, but for fear of the consequences. This indicates guilt leverage and approbation addiction. You're being trained to perform for their comfort. Now comes the warning that keeps you correct. One tell is not proof. Anybody can have a horrible day. Anyone can feel uneasy. Anyone can dodge once. The error is converting a single moment into a verdict. You read people in groups. When you notice the control reflex combined with a hostile boundary reaction, pay attention. Pay care when you see the status switch combined with accountability evasion. Pay attention when you experience the emotional tax after each interaction and continue to be on trial. Clusters are proof. You do not require certainty. You need a constant signal. Observation is only half of the skill. Next, I'll demonstrate how to evaluate these tells without confrontation, using 3 easy steps that quickly expose the mask and reveal the lever. To read people, you do not need to confront them. Confrontation contaminates evidence because when someone feels accused, they start acting rather than revealing. A Machiavellian technique is quieter. Tweak one variable, observe the reaction, and allow the mask to slide on its own. You do not announce the test. Simply cease feeding the dynamic that benefits them. Use these tests in real situations, not as a witch hunt. You're not trying to catch anyone. You're attempting to decide who has access to you. Do not guess thoughts. Monitor patterns under stress. The first test is strategic silence. This isn't the silent treatment. It's called composure. When someone throws a jab, baits you with a loaded question, or presses you to explain, you pause. Face is neutral. Eyes are steady. Take one slow breath. Let 3 or 4 seconds pass. Most people panic in that moment since silence violates the social script. A mature individual can bear the weight. They may soften, clarify, or inquire what you meant without attempting to win. A controlling person cannot stand it. They fill the vacuum with quick inquiries, sarcasm, or statements like, "So you have nothing to say?" They could accuse you of being impolite, insecure, or too sensitive. Your role isn't to argue. Your duty is to observe. Do they respect the pause, or do they interpret calm as disobedience? If you need words, use a single line. Noted. Alternatively, "I hear you." Then stop. Silence is the mirror that compels them to unveil their next move. Test 2 is delay. One of the simplest methods of training is to increase your speed. If you always answer promptly, you become predictable, and predictability turns into leverage. So, without antagonism, allow for a short delay. If a message arrives, do not jump. If a request is made, say, "I'll confirm in a bit," and then take your time. Then observe what they do while you are unavailable. Healthy individuals presume benevolence. They resume their day. They do not treat your attention as a paid membership. Unhealthy individuals escalate. They email follow-ups, use, call, or guilt you with phrases such, "Are you ignoring me?" If they cannot control time, they attempt to control your emotions. Later, some may punish the delay with coldness, sarcasm, or scorekeeping. Delay is not a sign of contempt. Rather, it represents liberty. People in need of control treat your calendar as if it were a crime scene. The third test is a little number. Choose a minor boundary that any rational person can accept. "Not tonight. I can't take that on." "No, thank you." Then observe the reaction, not the speech. Respect appears to be boring. It sounds like, "Okay," and the conversation continues. Manipulation resembles bargaining disguised as emotion. First, persuade, "Just this once." Then guilt, "After everything I've done for you." The character then launches an attack. "You're selfish," "You've changed," and "You're difficult." Notice the transition from the request to your identification. A healthy individual may ask why once before accepting. A manipulator will inquire why until they find a crack, at which point they will use your reason as a handle. When you say no calmly, see whether they try to bargain. Here's how to read the findings without becoming paranoid. Look for escalation. Increasing intensity while remaining calm is a warning indicator. Look for punishment. Penalties for crossing limits are a big red signal. Look for curiosity. Genuine questions and active listening are beneficial. Look for ways to make things right. Admitting a mistake and returning to respect demonstrates high maturity. One signal is noise. 2 or 3 signals indicate truth. Reading people does not imply cynicism. It's about staying focused and making strategic relationships. If you want to turn this into an instinct, the next stage is a 7-day protocol that will teach you to stop reacting and start observing. Try it tonight and pay close attention. Stop trying to understand people for the next 7 days and instead focus on training your eyes. This is a protocol, not an attitude. You are not getting chilly, rather, you are becoming accurate. Small movements imply larger reasons. You're collecting data, not gossip. Keep a note on your phone, 1 sentence for each interaction, what they desired and how they responded. Day 1. Speak 20% less. Allow others to fill the area. Observe who relaxes and who fidgets when you stop performing. Day 2. Monitor incentives. Ask them what they desire right now. Comfort, status, control, or reassurance. Day 3. Monitor the status switch in public. Consider how they treat the waiter, the junior, and the outsider with no leverage. Day 4. Set a small number. Polite, brief, and final. There's no explanation. Take note of the reaction. Day 5. Use strategic quiet once during tense situations. When a jab strikes, pause, maintain eye contact, and allow the air to get thick. Check to see if they clarify, escalate, or try to shame you into talking again. Day 6. Offer one probing inquiry to force clarity. What outcome are you trying to achieve? Then observe the response, either a clear answer or fog. Clarity equals respect. The fog represents control. Write it down. Day 7, change access. If someone fails the boundary test, reduce their proximity. Fewer responses, less time, and less private information. Not as vengeance, but as a strategy. Attention is your currency. Healthy people will experience obvious feelings of ease, honesty, and repair, with no pressure, guilt, or drama. By the end of the week, you'll notice a difference. Less perplexity, less self-doubt, and more peace. You'll recognize patterns in minutes that previously took months. You're not here to dominate others. You came here to quit being managed by them. If you want more lessons like this, subscribe and let me know which test revealed the truth.